Hello, my name is Lilly Bradshaw, and I'm a senior at Queen Creek High School, and this is my video reflection for my capstone. I wanted to start this off by saying that as of today, Friday, February the 13th, I have just completed my capstone, so I wanted to talk about it right after and kind of explain everything and reflect on everything while it's still fresh in my mind and I still know what I want to say. And to start off, I want to talk about my theater experience and my theater adventure here at Queen Creek. My theater adventure started when I was 7 years old and I was acting in local productions. I got mainly small parts, but I was very happy with them. I did my school's musicals back in elementary, and when I got the chance, I didn't want to do them when I reached high school. I felt so out of place. I knew I didn't have the talent or the confidence as half of everybody else there, and so instead of making myself miserable, I sat back for the first 2 years, helping where I could and going to events with my troupe. At the end of my sophomore year, I decided that I wanted to dedicate my junior and my senior year to theater. I wanted it to be what I was, and I wanted it to reflect who I was as a person. And my junior year, I dove in head first, and it was the best choice that I could have ever made. I ended up being a technician, and it wasn't what I expected. I expected that I was going to go in and I was going to act and do all the things that I was used to doing, but my stage fright was terrible. So I ended up being a technician. And the first show that I did help design hair and makeup for was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. We were one of the schools selected for Wands at the Ready. My co-designer and I did hair and makeup designs, and we helped each other make our designs come to life. And it was a very, very intense first show, but I believe that by doing this show, it threw me in head first, and it was just, I don't even know how to describe it. It was, I feel like I couldn't have had a better first show with Troop 6152. And my favorite memory was having an actor in one costume after the Death Eater dance, and I had to immediately change him into his Snape costume. And after I did that quick change, I had to run directly backstage to my co-designer, and we had to help get another actor into Voldemort makeup. And by the final show, we ended up getting that makeup done in just a little bit under 25 minutes, and that was our pride and joy for that show. And after Harry Potter, my co-designer and I went on to work on Hadestown, our musical for that season. Funnily enough, the reason I got so invested in costume design is because our costumer for that show, Miss Orelli, got sick and had to drop the show. And I had taken costume design to regional festivals before, but up until that point, I had never thought about what it was like to work on a whole show, let alone design a whole show like that. It was crazy. I struggled a lot. It was a very difficult and challenging experience, but I feel like it was so worth it in the end to be able to see the costumes that we had made under the stage lights and hear the audience's reactions specifically to characters like Persephone and Hades. Those were one of our favorites to design. This year, I worked on my school's play, A Murderer's Announced, written by Agatha Christie and adapted by Leslie Darbin. And if I'm being honest, the costume critique was not supposed to be my capstone. I was supposed to design the entirety of Death Note the musical, but through a lot of different complications, I never ended up being able to do that. And if I'm being honest, I don't really regret that. I believe that being able to defend my designs I feel like it's the appropriate choice. To be able to let people into my head and see what I'm thinking and understand where I'm coming from when I design a show. And when I received the Nationals judges' critiques of the A Murderer's Announced costumes, I knew that that was what I needed to do. I knew that I had to defend myself, defend my designs, show the research and the construction and the psychology behind everything that I put into that show. And I believe that my capstone is a direct reflection of who I am as a costumer. I take great pride in everything I do, and I hope that being able to show the public the months of research that went into this show, that they can understand my choices as well. Costuming this show was difficult. I wanted to make sure all the actors' personalities were highlighted, and not only the actors, but the characters, and I believe that I was able to do that with my costumes. My director was a huge help with this capstone project, and he was incredibly lenient when it came to things I was unsure about and helped me every step of the way. Mr. Smith was kind and understanding and never once got angry with me for the amount of times I flip-flopped on whether my ideas were actually good or that I was worried that he wouldn't like them or not. Leading up to my capstone, I was working on a presentation, and I was doing all that I could to put my thoughts and my research and all of my gatherings and findings and putting it into words and images and research to back everything that I was saying. My capstone was done entirely on my own. I didn't have the help of any other students, and it wasn't a collaborative thing. I made the presentation on my own, and I presented it on my own. I did have, for the making of the costumes, I had the help of Mr. Smith and my whole team and my crew. Overall, my capstone is an incredible experience, and it was an absolute pleasure to be able to perform on the same night as some of my best friends. I hope that now the people that were confused or unsure of where certain ideas came from have a more clear and solid answer, and I hope that by being able to present my capstone that the world is now more understanding of costume designers and their visions. Thank you so much.